Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news alright, Giants fans. Let's settle in and talk about what's been buzzing around the NFL lately, especially about our beloved New York Giants. There's a lot to unpack, and honestly, it's shaping up to be one of the most intriguing offseasons in recent memory for the G-Men. As we all know, the NFL offseason is that critical period where teams make strategic moves, draft picks, free agency, and yes, trades that could define their future for years to come. And for the Giants, that process is already underway, with whispers of what might be coming down the pipeline that could alter not just their roster, but also their entire division. Now, the big question on everyone's mind is, will Joe Schoen, our general manager, be aggressive this offseason? Will he look to wheel and deal to make the roster more competitive and ready to contend for another Super Bowl? If history is any guide, Schoen is one of those GMs who's not afraid to make bold moves. Remember, since taking over in 2022, he's shown a clear intent to build a team that can compete at the highest level, balancing between drafting young talent and making shrewd trades to plug holes. This strategic mindset is what has kept the Giants competitive in a tough NFC landscape, and honestly, the fans are craving more of that aggressive approach. Recently, a fascinating report by Pro Football Network has surfaced, suggesting potential trade scenarios that could reshape our roster in the coming months. These aren't just wild guesses, they're carefully considered options based on team needs and financial realities. One of the most talked about possibilities involves the interior of our offensive line. As Giants fans, we all know how critical that unit is. Last year, despite the chaos caused by injuries, our offensive line showed resilience, but it also exposed some vulnerabilities that need addressing if we want to seriously challenge in the NFC. The report highlights that Schoen might be eyeing a trade for Alijah Vera-Tucker from the New York Jets. Now, Vera-Tucker is a fascinating case. He's a versatile lineman who's shown flashes of brilliance, especially in 2024 when he stayed healthy after 2 injury-shortened seasons. His performance was solid, allowing only a 174% pressure rate, an impressive stat. But here's the catch. Vera-Tucker has logged fewer than 450 snaps in each of the previous years, raising some eyebrows about his consistency and durability. So, why would the Giants entertain such a move? Well, it's clear that Schoen is always looking for that extra piece that can elevate the team, especially along the interior of the offensive line, which has been a work in progress. But let's take a step back and analyze this from a broader perspective. The Giants are already aware of the importance of reinforcements along the line. Last year, our offensive line was hit hard, with 10 different combinations due to injuries. The most significant was Andrew Thomas, who missed a chunk of the season with a foot injury. Before that injury, the unit was trending upward, showing marked improvement from the previous year's historically bad performance, where the team gave up 85 sacks, the second most in league history. That's a monumental statistic, and it underscores just how fragile our line was. So naturally, the question arises, is adding Vera-Tucker worth the draft capital, especially considering the Giants already have a decent core with Evan Neal, Jalen Mayfield, Joshua Ezeudu, and the promising rookie Marcus Mbo? And what about the fact that Schoen has already traded away a 2026 third-round pick to move up in the draft for Jackson Dart? That's a significant investment, and it suggests that every move now has to be meticulously calculated. On top of that, the Giants have their own free agents to worry about, players like Wan'Dale Robinson and Micah McFadden, who have been key pieces in recent seasons. Both are due for extensions, and the team has to balance short-term needs with long-term planning. Schoen's approach has always been about building a roster that can sustain success, and that means smartly managing the salary cap and draft capital. That's why the Vera-Tucker idea, while intriguing, isn't a slam dunk. It's a move that could pay off if he returns to full health and consistency, but it's also a gamble, especially if it's only a rental, which is what some suggest given Vera-Tucker's contract status. Now, let's switch gears and talk about another intriguing scenario highlighted by the report. What about the edge rushers? Specifically, the possibility of trading Kayvon Thibodeaux. This one has been the talk of the town among Giants fans and analysts alike. Thibodeaux, drafted third overall in 2022, has shown flashes of dominance, especially last season, racking up 5 sacks in 2023. That's a significant contribution from a young player still developing his game. So, why would the Giants consider trading away a player with such upside? The report suggests that Scone might view Thibodeaux as a luxury, something that's great to have but not necessarily essential if the team has a deep pool of pass rushers. With Abdul Carter emerging as a promising young talent, and the team's cap situation being more flexible than it appears, the Giants could consider moving Thibodeaux to bolster other areas or to recoup draft capital. It's important to remember that the Giants have Carter on a very affordable rookie deal, with cap hits escalating gradually from around $8 million to nearly $4 million by 2028. Meanwhile, Thibodeaux's fifth-year option has been exercised, which would cost the team around $75 million in 2024. From a financial standpoint, it's not an impossible move. But beyond the numbers, it's about the strategic fit. Giants fans know how valuable pass rushers are. Look at the 2007 and 2011 Super Bowl-winning teams, which had multiple threats coming off the edge. The current NFL game is heavily tilted towards pass rush dominance, and having multiple players capable of rushing the quarterback is a huge advantage. Keep in mind, the Giants are just scratching the surface of what Thibodeaux can become. If he stays healthy and continues to develop, he could be a cornerstone of our defense for years to come. So, trading him now could be seen as a gamble, but one that some believe the team might consider if it means acquiring additional draft picks or freeing up cap space for other needs. And speaking of cap space, it's essential to remember that the Giants are in a relatively good position financially. The rookie deals for Carter and Jackson Dart, combined with the rising salary cap, give Scone flexibility. The fact that Carter's deal is so team-friendly means the Giants can afford to keep Thibodeaux if they decide he's part of their long-term plans. Plus, the team's recent history shows they value developing their young talent rather than making knee-jerk trades. Still, with the NFL's competitive landscape, you never know what moves might be on the horizon. Now, let's talk about the quarterback room, because that's another area where some interesting developments could happen. The Giants have been strategic with their QB investments, giving Russell Wilson a one-year deal to hold down the fort until Jackson Dart is ready to step into a full-time role. Wilson is expected to be the starter in 2025, with Dart projected to take over in 2026. Meanwhile, the team signed Andy Dalton as a veteran backup, providing stability and mentorship for Dart along the way. That's a smart move, keeping a veteran like Dalton around not just for his experience, but also for the invaluable leadership he provides to our young quarterback. Now, what if the Giants decide to move on from some of their backup quarterbacks? Well, Tommy DeVito, a promising young undrafted free agent, could be a candidate. DeVito has shown flashes of potential and might not have a future with the team, especially if the Giants decide to prioritize other positions in the draft or free agency. But he's also a player that other teams might be interested in, especially those looking for a developmental quarterback or a short-term stopgap. Teams like the Saints, Steelers, or even the Vikings could be interested, depending on their needs and the waiver claims. And here's a critical point. If DeVito doesn't make the Giants roster, he will hit waivers, and the claiming order is based on the draft order from this past April. That means the Saints, with the 9th pick in the waiver priority, could swoop in and claim him, especially if they see potential in his game. The Steelers and Vikings would be right behind, with the Vikings showing some concern about their current quarterback situation. It's all about roster depth and smart resource management, which Scone has demonstrated he's quite capable of handling. Now, circling back to the division, because that's where things get even more interesting. The NFC East has become one of the most competitive divisions in football, with the Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, and of course, the Giants all vying for supremacy. The Eagles, reigning Super Bowl champions, have set a high bar, but the Giants are not far behind. With some strategic moves, especially in the trenches and in the pass rush, the Giants could position themselves as serious contenders again. The NFC East is a division where every game counts, and the margin for error is razor-thin. So any move Scone makes, whether it's trading for a veteran lineman, drafting a potential star, or even trading a key player, will be geared toward giving the Giants that extra edge. And that's what makes this offseason so exciting for Giants fans. The potential for bold moves, the possibility of upgrading key positions, and the strategic decisions about cap management and draft capital all point to a team that's not just content to compete but aims to dominate. Remember, the Giants have a rich history of making smart moves at the right time. Think about their Super Bowl runs in 2007 and 2011, where they built strong trenches, got clutch performances from their stars, and played disciplined football. That tradition continues, and this offseason might just be the next chapter in that story. Now, I want to emphasize that all these scenarios are speculative, but they're rooted in the facts we've seen so far. Scone has shown a willingness to be aggressive, to make moves that make sense both financially and strategically. And with the NFL's ever-changing landscape, adaptability is key. Whether it's making a trade for Vera-Tucker, considering a blockbuster for Thibodeaux, or evaluating backup quarterbacks like DeVito, the Giants are laying the groundwork for a potentially explosive 2024 season. The division rivals better watch out because the Giants are not just sitting back, they're planning to make a statement. And let's not forget the fans. Your enthusiasm, your support, and your passion are what drive this team forward. Every offseason move, every draft pick, every signing is fueled by the desire to bring that Lombardi Trophy back to MetLife Stadium. The road to another Super Bowl isn't paved with coincidences. It's built with smart, calculated moves, and the Giants' front office knows that. They're aiming high, and the potential is there for a team that can surprise everyone, especially with the right moves in the coming months. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the key for the Giants is balancing immediate needs with long-term planning. The NFL is a league of short windows. Teams that strike at the right moment often find themselves in the Super Bowl picture. For the Giants, that means smartly evaluating trade options, developing young talent like Evan Neal, Marcus Embo, and Jackson Dart, and making sure their cap space is allocated efficiently. It's about building a roster that can sustain success over multiple seasons, not just a flash in the pan. And of course, the division itself is evolving. The Eagles are still the reigning champs. They've got a young, talented roster, and their quarterback Jalen Hurts is entering his prime. The Cowboys are always tough, with a dominant defense and an offense that can strike quickly. The Commanders, with their new ownership and promising young quarterback in Sam Howell, are also looking to climb the ladder. In such a competitive environment, the Giants need to be bold and strategic. The question is, will Scone pull the trigger on moves that push the team over the top? And will the players step up and stay healthy enough to make that push? As we look at the entire picture, it's clear that the Giants are in a position to be players in this offseason. They have the cap flexibility, the young talent, and the draft capital, if used wisely, to make moves that could reshape the NFC East. Whether it's trading for a reliable interior lineman, like Vera-Tucker, or evaluating the future of their pass rush by possibly moving Thibodeaux, the decisions made now will echo through the upcoming seasons. It's a thrilling time to be a Giants fan because we're on the verge of a potential renaissance, where each move could be the catalyst for a deep playoff run or even a Super Bowl appearance. All in all, the strategy for the Giants is clear: be smart, be aggressive, and keep the long-term vision in mind. This offseason will be a test of how well Scone and the front office can navigate the complex NFL landscape. It's about making the right trades, signings, and draft choices, building a team that's not just good enough but a true contender. And as fans, we should be excited because the groundwork is being laid for what could be an incredible 2024 season. Whether it's a blockbuster trade or a draft steal, the Giants are positioning themselves for greatness. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all these possibilities? Do you think Scone will pull the trigger on a big trade? Are you confident in the current roster, or do you believe more changes are necessary? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Giants. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest New York Giants news. The offseason is just heating up, and the best is yet to come. Let's get ready, let's stay passionate, and let's keep dreaming about that next Super Bowl trophy coming back to MetLife. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, go Giants!